Hey guys, we're just going to do something we've already kind of done, but we're going to look at it a little in a slightly different manner. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to do applications of log and exponential functions. And here's your basic formulas that you're going to need, okay? Part 1A tells us that a man invests $5,000 in an account that pays 8.5% interest per year, compounded quarterly. Okay, so that means every 3 months, but there's 4 quarters in a year. So n is going to equal 4. Okay, I shouldn't say 4, I should say n equals 4. All right, compounding quarterly means you compound 4 times a year, because if you quarter something, you're putting into 1/4. Kind of like you have 4 quarters in a dollar. And interest, 8.5% would be 0.085. All right, so the first thing it asked is find the amount after 3 years. Well, that's something we know how to do. We just say A equals, that's the amount, equals 5,000 times 1 plus 0.085, that's our interest amount, over 4, because that's the number of times I'm compounding in a year, raised to the 4 times 3, because that's how many years there are. So we're just going to plug this in a calculator, and we're going to have our answer. So we simply turn it on, and then we get 5,000 times 1 plus 0.085 divided by 4, raised to the 4 times 3, which is 12. And after we have $6,435.09. $6,435.09. Okay? So the next question it says is how long will it take for the investment to double, to be at 10,000? Okay, so look. I want to show you the algebra way you could solve this real fast, okay? Guys, this is your formula, but you're looking for where A is equal to 10, and we just simply don't know that it's 3 anymore. So we could say that A is 10,000 is equal to 5,000 times 1 plus 0.085 over 4, that's 0.085, raised to the, okay, now we know we're still compounding 4 times in a year, but we don't know how many years it is, so we leave T as T. So what we could do is we could solve for T. This is an exponential situation. So we know how to do exponential. We know how to solve for an exponent. We simply get the base by itself first. So I got to get rid of the 5,000. So I divide both sides by 5,000. That gives me 2, because 10,000 divided by 5,000 is 2, is equal to, okay, real quickly, instead of saying 1 plus 0.085 divided by 4, I just want to simply figure out what that number is. So 0.085 divided by 4. Alright, so we get some super long number, 1.02125, raised to the 4t. Okay, now I'm ready to change forms, so I would say log base 1.02125 of 2 equals 4t. And now you guys can type that in your calculator and divide by 4, and bam, you'll have your answer. Alright, so for me to type in my calculator, I have to do log of 2 divided by log of, but you guys don't have to do it this way. You guys can simply click math, scroll up until you get to log base, press enter, and type in a little bit, and then I need to divide that by 4. So I get that's going to take about 8 years, approximately 8 years. Okay, so it's going to take approximately 8 years. Now, that was one way of doing it. Okay, so I'm going to say approximately 8 years. That was the algebra way of doing it. Okay, what's another way I could have done it? Well, another way you could have done it, guys, is by simply using your table feature of your calculator, by simply going into y equals, typing in 5,000, because that's your beginning amount, times 1 plus 0.085 divided by 4 raised to the 4t. I mean, you can say 4x, it's the exact same thing. Okay, and then you would just simply go look at your table, and we're looking for it to be 10,000. So we know that at year 6, let's see here, hold on, that says in year 2 it's at 10,000. Oh, you know what I did? I did not put my exponent. You guys don't have to worry about this as much because your calculators are a little bit nicer than mine. Alright. Put that there. Second graph. Here we go. All right, and you will see that in year 8, that's when we got really, really close, and then it was actually in year 9 that we got to 10,000. So that's why I said it took approximately 8 years, because, you know, shortly after the 8th year, about a quarter of the way through the 8th year, because it was 8.24, so about 3 months through the 8th year, we reached 10,000. Okay. So how long will it take for the investment to be worth 20,000? I'm going to solve this one once again through the algebra, but you're more than welcome to use the calculator. So 20,000 is equal to 5,000 times 1.02125 raised to the 4t. Okay, so this time divide both sides by 5,000. That's going to give me 4 because I got to get the base by itself. That's why I'm dividing by 5,000 first. So now I have this base of 1.02125 being raised to the 4t. And now I'm going to change forms. So I'm going to say log base 1.02125 of 4, and that's going to equal 4t. And so I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to make this magic happen. So a second quit. I'm going to say log of 4 divided by log of 1.02125, and then I'm going to divide that by 4. And we're going to see that it would take me about 16 and a half years. It would take me about 16 and a half years. Okay. So that is the enjoyment of using the algebra way, is that I can get a little bit more precise than the calculator method. Okay. The calculator method just got me the year, but this allows me to kind of get like 16 and a half years, so it would take about 16 years and 6 months. All right. Let's try doing our next problem. All right, problem number 2. It says a 15-gram sample of radioactive iodine decays in such a way that the mass remaining after t days is given by this function, where t is measured in where m of t is measured in grams. How many days does it take for only 5 grams to remain? So look, it wants you to get t when m of t is 5. And look, it says round answer to the nearest tenth. So it's asking for a very specific answer. It does not want an approximation. I mean, it's an approximation because we're rounding the nearest 10th, but it does not want us to get like, oh, approximately 4 whole days. All right, so that means that the calculator method is kind of out here because of its specific question. All right, so how many days does it take for the 5 grams remaining? So I know that m of t, excuse me, I know that m of t is going to be 5 is equal to 15 e raised to the negative 0.087 t. 0.087 t. Okay, and guys, we know how to do this. I promise you do. Start by getting the base by itself. So we divide both sides by 15. So 5 divided by 15 is just 1/3. So 1/3 is equal to e raised to the negative 0.087 t. Now I have the base by itself, so that means I can change forms. Now, the base is e, so when you change forms, you're not going to say log base e, you're going to say natural log of 1/3 equals negative 0.087 t. Okay, so now you know to go type in natural log and then just simply divide that simply divide that natural log, the natural log of 1/3, divided by negative 0.087 to get t by itself. Oops, my apologies. 0.087, press enter. And we get that it takes about 12.6 days. 12.6 days. Okay. All right, last one I'm going to do with you is number 3. All right, number 3, the velocity of a skydiver, t seconds after jumping, is given by this function. How many seconds does it take for the velocity to reach 70 feet per second? Okay, so once again, it wants me to solve for t. It wants me to round to the nearest tenth, so it kind of gets rid of the calculator way. So we're going to say 70 equals 80 times 1 minus e raised to the negative 0.2 t. Okay, so guys, look, you still have to get the base by itself first. this 80 is multiplying to everything. So step 1, divide everything by 80. So we divide everything by 80, and we're going to get 7/8 is equal to 1 minus e raised to the negative 0.2t. Okay, so we actually still have 2 more steps before we can change forms. I need to subtract this 1, so I'm going to get 7/8 minus 1, because you got to get e by itself. So this 1 is a positive 1, so I need to move it over here, so I subtract it. So I get 7/8 minus 1 equals negative e raised to the negative 0.2t. Okay, so then 7/8 minus 1 is negative 1/8, but I need to be a positive e, so I divide everything by negative 1, so I get a positive 1/8. Okay, so let me walk you through that again. 7/8 minus 1 is negative 1/8. However, this is a negative e. I need this to become a positive e, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 1, and that's going to give me a positive 1/8. So I have a positive 1/8 is equal to e raised to the negative 0.2t. Now I've got the base by itself, so I'm ready to change forms. I'm going to do it up here because I'm running out of space. So I'm going to say the natural log, because the base was e. When the base is e, you do natural log of 1/8 is equal to negative 0.2t. Now I just got to finish solving for t. So I do that by doing, first off, taking the natural log of 1/8 and then dividing that by negative 0.2, because that will give me t by itself. Press enter, and I get it's going to take about 10.4 seconds. Because it says how many seconds did it take? It takes about 10.4. Okay guys, so I hope you remember how to change forms, because that's really 90% what you're doing. You're solving for your base, changing forms, solving for your variable. Okay? Guys, you know, if I have a moment, let me know if you have any questions. Send me a reminder, send me an email. Other than that, just do your best. We'll grade them next time I see you. Have a great day.